Dear friends, welcome to Serbia. We have been waiting for quite long and we have been fighting quite long, and we did it. We have reached the anniversary. Judgment Day plus 50 in Serbia. 50th day since the introduction of the extraordinary measures. What to say? On the 49th day, which was yesterday, the cancellation of the state of emergency has been announced. Apparently, as of the 7th of May, the state of emergency will be abolished. Great news. So in 3 days from now we'll be free again. I mean, free to a certain extent, of course. The latest COVID-19 statistics in Serbia. Yesterday we had 102 new cases, which is bringing us to the total of 9,400 and something. So we are still below 10,000. Then unfortunately there were 4 new people died yesterday, and the cause being COVID-19. So the total death toll is now at 193. We also had 151, I believe, cured patients. So the good thing is that, of course, the number of cured patients is now exceeding the number of newly discovered cases, and the total number of tested cases yesterday was slightly above 5,000, and overall almost 100,000. So by putting 2 and 2 together and 1 and 1, so the simple math says that our mortality rate in our case in Serbia is slightly above the 2%. And now the 2% is also the ratio of positive results of tests versus total. I mean, I'm talking at the daily level now. I mean, yesterday's 5,000 plus tested and only 102 newly discovered patients. The construction that we see on our right hand side is the Belgrade waterfront, or more precisely Belgrade BW Galleria will be the one of the largest shopping malls. This will be the parking, I believe, what we see at the right of the BW Galleria. We are just crossing the Gazela Bridge. The Gazela Bridge being used to be the most, how to say, frequent, it's still most frequent bridge in Belgrade, definitely. You see 3 lanes in one direction and 3 in the other. However, it's oftentimes there is a it's a bottleneck. It's still a bottleneck because many people are now traveling from one side of the Belgrade to another side so from the old part of town to New Belgrade and Zemun direction and vice versa. So now I'm crossing the bridge going to Simanovci, Pećinci, Krnješevci, and on all the other Ci. I mean, these are the villages at the west from Belgrade, direction Zagreb. I mean, Zagreb, Ljubljana, and further on. So connected with Belgrade by the highway, the very highway that I'm now driving on. It's quite of this now already reminds on a regular working day. The music at the back, nije htjela, moje pjesme, moju ljubav, moja djela. Nije htjela ruke moje. Okay, very nice song by Kemal Montano. Kemo, famous Kemo. Stari. Okay, approaching the Genex Towers. Next to Genex Towers, Studentski grad. And once we reach that, we can say that we are the very suburb of Belgrade. Because next one is Bežanijska Kosa. Okay, actually once we pass Bežanijska Kosa as well, then we say that we are practically out of the inner circle of, let's say, the capital of ex-Yugoslavia and nowadays of Serbia. So the country has been changing names quite often. It was probably there was one more name, but I mean I'm now talking about the names that lasted at least a couple of years. So it was Kraljevina Srba, Hrvata I Slovenaca, so the kingdom of Serbs, Croats and Slovenians. And back then the Montenegrins and the Macedonians were regarded as Serbs essentially. Bosnia was pretty much non-existent as a republic. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Then it was Kraljevina Yugoslavia, the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, and then it came the war, the Second World War. During the Second World War, it was, I believe, still the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, but then close to the end of the war, the Marshal Tito organized elections with so-called blind boxes. Blind boxes. So the only clever way how to vote was to vote for the Communist Party of Yugoslavia. So they renamed the country to Federalna Narodna Republika Yugoslavia, so Federal People's Republic of Yugoslavia. But this did not last quite long before it has been changed to SFRJ, Socijalistička Federativna Republika Yugoslavia, or the Socialist Federative Republic of Yugoslavia. Then after the 90s, when the several republics separated from Yugoslavia in the bloody war, the country was called Savezna Republika Yugoslavia, Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, although it only consisted of two republics, Serbia and Montenegro. And this was exactly the name of the next country. So Serbia and Montenegro was the next name of the country. And then after Montenegro also separated, it is just Serbia, or the Republic of Serbia. So yeah, as I was telling about the names of the streets that were changing names quite often. So is the country, so no wonder about the streets. Even the cities have been changing names. For instance, my hometown used to be called Jagodina, Strawberry Town. But then after the Second World War, it was named Svetozarevo. Based on the name of Svetozar Marković. Svetozar Marković was a communist. I don't know, I believe he was born in Jagodina, but definitely his grave and the monument are also in Jagodina, in the municipal graveyard in Jagodina. Now already have exited Belgrade, reaching Autokomanda car salon. companies, of course. This is the Autokomanda on our left, the karting track as well. Used to be driving karting there. Then there were some other cities that also kept changing names, such as okay, maybe Jagodina being the most dramatic example, but Titovo Užice, as you remember, I told you that in every republic one city had to be carrying the name of Tito. So the most dramatic one was Titograd or Podgorica, so it was the capital of Montenegro that was named Titograd. It's like Stalingrad or Leningrad or something like that. But yeah, this was then changed to Podgorica. Titovo Užice now is only Užice. Užička Požega is now only Požega. What else? Okay, there is a town in Vojvodina, Zrenjanin. But this was before the Second World War. No, actually it was changed after the Second World War, based on the national hero Žarko Zrenjanin, and the original name was Petrograd, I believe. Yeah. Okay, now coming to the crossroad, to the famous newly built highway Miloš Veliki, Miloš the Great, referring to Miloš Obilić, and also the highway to. So this is now quite an important intersection, actually. So we are now in the area of Surčin, because the Obrenovac, the outer highway circle around Belgrade is also practically, there is an intersection here. It has not been completed yet. Nekako s proljeća, the song, very nice song. Ja se sjetim starih drugova. Okay, so we are now approaching pretty much Simanovci, moje selo, veselo. Also one very nice song. Vratio sam se živote, my favorite song. It starts relatively calm and easy, but then okay, so the pay toll station is a bit more further down. Dobanovci, Batajnica, Ugrinovci. Let me just understand whether should I exit here or not. Vratio sam se živote. Yes, Krnješevci,